Hey everybody, this is the semifinal game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Yanks.
Call from 909415573.
Something going on here. Let me try it again. Watch. Copy this over here and grab this 30443. This is weird. It keeps saying waiting for server teams. This won't allow me to do anything, I don't think. So let's wait for them to set it up. So anyway, this is the semifinal match between the Philadelphia Eagles, 13-3, number 4 seed, and the New York Yanks, 15-1. Let's get the new ID. So the Yanks have Derek Carr, Taysom Hill as their quarterbacks. They use Hill in short yardage situations. Let me exit out of this completely. And then they have Raheem Mostert, Rex Burkhead, Naheem Hines as the running backs. Will Fuller, DJ Chark, D.Y. Hilton, and Tyron Johnson as the receivers. What gets the Yanks over the top, I think, is their defense. Good. We'll take a look at them once we get in the game, see if they're ready for that. The Eagles are led by Derrick Henry. We got Gardner Minshew, who's a capable quarterback. Nothing too exciting, but he doesn't kill you. 19875. All right, so now we're waiting, but I think this is legit waiting. There we go. So now the message has gone away and we are in the game. Okay, so here we go. Should be a good one. Like I said, Derrick Henry over 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. He is the cog that makes that wheel go. We get a touchback on the opening kickoff. And the Eagles will get the ball first. Philadelphia is good as well. They have a 3-4. But here is that Yanks defense, 3-4 also, 5-6-6 up front. Not a lot of pass rush, but those numbers stuff the run pretty good. Square out left to Adam Thielen. Guessed right, one man in zone. Seeing if he can catch him at a run call, because Henry will garner his fair share of run calls today. Shaq Thompson makes a play, 5 on a 4. 2nd and 10. So there's the other receivers. Lockett, Eifert, Arnold join Adam Thielen, the target on that first play. Henry's run blocking up front is good on the left side. Inside run to Henry, gets strong. 4-minute zone on the short pass as he moved up to free safety. And it hits that middle number of +1. You want to stay away from the edges if you're trying to defend Derrick Henry. He's got that long gain on 9 and run gets strong. And you see the long gain on 11, +94 on 2, +36 on 12. Some short gain in there, +26 on 3. So lots of juicy numbers. But 3rd and 9, this is where you want to be if you're the Yanks defending without Henry in the game. First drive of the game. Well, the Eagles go 3 and out. Crossing pattern to Tate, covered by a 4. They will not. Minshew completes the 3rd down and long. 7 on his own card. So without that big pass rush, you may see a lot of dump offs today. The pass blocking for the Eagles goes 7-5-7, 5-5. Even Henry's got a 4 pass block. So it looks like the formation that the Eagles prefer is the 2 tights, 2 wide formation. Henry will get a lot of line bucks, off tackle left, and maybe some end run to the right, slant to Arnold, guest right. 3-minute zone. Arnold's got an interesting card, covered by a 5 here. But there's a must run on Minshew's card. Second and 3. So I haven't seen a run call yet from the Yanks. And we've only seen 1 run from Derrick Henry. So he's called him right 3 out of 4 times. Slow pace as these teams get ready. Off tackle left, gets wrong run to Henry. Nose tackle, 0+3, and Vita Vea comes up just a tad short. So Anthony would love for Derrick Henry's average per carry to be what it is now at the end of the game, 2.0, 2 runs, 4 yards. But we know that won't be the case. Henry will break a long one at one point this game. First and 10. Eagles have picked up 2 first downs. We are 10 minutes into the game real time. 3 minutes into the game on strat time. Look in pass at 2-minute zone. It's a white die 6, but both men were still there. So Anthony's not worried about plugging the line bugging off tackle zones quite yet. Covering up the flats. One of the inside linebackers is a 6. That's Fred Warner. So if he would have been the one that stayed home, it still would have been a 2-yard pickup. Only if he had left Neville Hewitt by himself or nobody in the zone, that it would have been the +9. Pitch out left to Henry Gestrong. 6 defensive ends, and it hits the 0 on Henry's card. So now he's got him down to 1.3 yards per carry. But he'll keep running that. He'll hit that +31 or the long gain at some point. He might not hit an edge, but he'll hit that 9 or the 4. Another 3rd and 9. Okay, so on 3rd downs, takes out one of the low pass rush guys and brings in Effie Obata to 0-7. Pretty sure everything's going good with the broadcast. Looks fine. He shifts him over to this side, going up against the 4-5 Trent Brown instead of the 6-7 Eric Fisher. Leaves Calais Campbell over here. So we got 3 guys covered by 4s. Covers Tate, passes to Thielen, covered by a 6. Can Minshew hit his 10 again, or a 7 again, and plus 10? It's a dump off. Only 4 yards. 4th and 5, and it'll be punt time as the Yanks get a stop on their first series on defense. Punt goes inside the 20 to the 18. That's where the Yanks will start. First and 10, Mostert in there and a blocking back halfback. T.Y. Hilton, Will Fuller, and Chris Manhertz. Pitch out right to Mostert. He's got some big numbers on the edges too. Not quite as many carries as Henry. He'll get 6 on that one. 2nd and 4. Okay, so Anthony's done his formation adjustment. Burkhead checks in on 2nd and 4. C.J. Ham is now the blocking back, and Disley replaced Manhertz at tight end. Pitch out left to Burkhead. Guessed wrong. The tackle makes the block plus 5. So 2nd and 4. Now it's 1st down. Left tackle left to Mostert. Guessed right this time. Got a couple sixes there in front of him. And that's going to lose a yard. So my card, your card, goes on. Mostert starts guess right, guess wrong would have been a short gain. 2nd and 11. Let's look at that Eagles defense. They got a nose tackle up front in Daquan Jones, 6'2", 5'4" left end Akeem Hicks, 5'2" right end Christian Wilkins. So both these teams have similar lines. Good against the run, not so much pass rush. 6'5", Demario Davis, 6'6", Levante David. So he's got 6'6", 5'5" on the linebackers. Fives everywhere except the free safety. Pitch out right to Burkhead. Guessed wrong. He's got a 5 offensive onside end. And Burkett's got that funky card. He gets 5 there, but he's got that plus 17 in the middle. People would, probably like the card a lot more if it said short gain. But instead it's plus 17 doesn't, when there's words there, it seems to make it more exciting. But 17 is a pretty good short gain. So third and 6. How do you get to 3rd and 6? I thought it was first down after that. Oh, yeah, that was 2nd down. Sorry, the first down was the -1 on Mostert's card, then a +5 on Burkhead's card. So now we're at 3rd and 6. The Yanks at the 33. They go to a non-running set. Both these guys have 6'6" inside linebackers, which is going to make it really difficult to run linebacker off tackle on 3rd downs and 5+. Chark checks into the game as a 3rd wide receiver. It's a slant to Disley. 4 men in zone, guess right. And that's going to be incomplete. So now the Eagles hold on their first defensive series and force the Yanks to punt. 15-yard return after a 43-yard punt, and the Eagles get good field position up their own 39. There's a guess wrong run for Henry. Defensive end makes the play. 2nd and 9. Henry 4 runs for 5 yards. Slanted Dan Arnold, single covered by 5. Incomplete. Receiver didn't help him out. It's got some good yardage on that card, though, especially if you can get a guess wrong. Third and 9. Back to Minshew throwing darts. See if he can hit something good on his card or get helped up by a receiver reading. It's a double team successful on golden tape, but a linebacker and his receiver reading can't make the play. So went with a triple double. Shuts down Minshew. It'll be 4th and 9. Dave's going to have to mix that up and throw some flats here if he's going to do that double-double, triple-double, double teaming. Fly right to CJ Ham. And it's a white die 6, plus 10. First and 10 out to the 28. There's another flat pass to CJ Ham. There was 2 men in the zone that time, but it's on the quarterback's guard. Another 10-yard pickup. 2 receptions for CJ Ham today for 20 yards. So far, CJ Ham has more yardage than Derrick Henry, who had that on the end of the first quarter parlay card. I guess it would be a prop card, not a prop parlay. No score here. Slant to Will Disley. Covered by a 5. That's right. It's going to be a flush and a 10-yard pickup. So the Yanks are moving. A white die 6, a guess wrong flat, and now a dump off for 10. At the very least, he's flipped the field as he's approaching midfield. Another slant to Disley. Just keep throwing it out there. This time it hits on Derek Carr's card, plus 11. Fly to T.Y. Hilton. Guess wrong. 1 man in zone, incomplete. Second and 10. Needs another first down to get into field goal range. Goes with a 3 wide, 2 back set. Disley is fullback. The Eagles respond with a 3-3-5. I should say blocking back, not fullback, for Disley. Takes away some of the run block ratings. Now, Anthony has great run blocking all the way around. I'll take a left to Burkhead, guess wrong. Nobody's in the zone. A couple of 6s there, and there he hits that middle number, the plus 15 on the tackle, which again, if it said short game there, might get people more excited. Definitely into field goal range now as we approach the end of the first quarter. Straight left to Mostert. He's going to pick up 2. Guessed right on his own card. Again, staying with that 3 wide formation. Mostert in there instead of Burkhead. Quick into Disley. There's a 6 there, but it's on the quarterback's card. Guess wrong. It's going to be plus 9 and another first down. First and 10 at the 15. Sticks with the 3 wide, 2 back. Burkhead in there instead of Mostert. Off tackle left to Burkhead, gets strong. He wants that plus 15 again, but he gets plus 7. Set up second and 3 inside the 10. Second and 3, full house. Burkett and Nyheim Hines in the backfield with C.J. Ham. And we see our first sighting of Corey Davis. Doesn't have the yards, but has more hits on that short pass card, so he's in there inside the 10. Off tackle run to Hines. Guessed right. He's going to pick up 3. First and goal at the 5. That's the end of the first quarter. Scoreless, but the Yanks are knocking. First and goal. Burkhead, Hines. Off tackle right to Hines, gets strong, but it's only going to be plus 2 as the block is made, but 2-minute zone on an off tackle against 3-4 doesn't yield much joy. And the animation is a little slow here. Wonder if he had a crash. On Nyheim Hines' card, that's a touchdown. I don't like the way this is acting. I'm going to exit. Oh, there it goes. Did it move, or am I imagining? Yeah, I think we're stuck. So we'll get out. I think we're good. See that last play result. So I did go those 2 yards, so it'll be a second goal to 3. Same cast of characters. Full house against a 3-4. Waiting for a play call. I don't know if they're taking their time or if they're having more technical issues. Yep, that looks like technical issues. So we'll wait till that resolves itself. All right, Anthony's back, but that's going to be a while for Duke, I bet. But I think that's the best way to make sure that there's no more crashes.
silence unless there's some rivalry there.
All right, so it looks like we're back ready to get started again. Something's going on here, just not working. I don't know what's going on here. Well, it was second and goal to 5. Now it's third and goal to 5. Should have been third and goal to 2. All right, we're back in it now, I think. Guess wrong and run. Gonna hit one of the big numbers yet? It's an 8-yard pickup. Not great, but better than hitting one of those defensive end numbers where he's got 2-6 defensive ends. Off tackle right to Henry. Finally a run goal. He's going to pick up 4. Vina Vea makes the stop. And that's going to be guessed right. No gain. Zero guessed wrong too, though, or +1 guessed wrong. So 2nd and 10. Two tights, 2 wide. Defender extra long gain, and Carl Joseph makes the play. He's looking for Tyler Eifert. Eifert's got a pretty decent cap too, I think. 40 something. Third and 10. Slide to Arnold. Single covered by a 4. Dump off, and it's going to be a 20-yard dump off. That's a first down. And inside the Yanks territory. I'll tackle right to Henry. Nobody there, gets strong, picks up 5. Eifert makes the block. White die 4 against the run rating of 4. Second and 5. Quick out left to Eifert. It's got a 5 pass block rating there, and it's going to be white die 6. Not going to matter. It's going to pick up 13 down to the 26. Pitch out left to Henry, gets strong. And he's gonna lose a yard. So Henry's still struggling to get his yards per carry up. 9 runs in, 2.3 yards per carry. Anthony has to be happy with that. It's the Minshew passing that's surprising me. Some nice wide die 6s, a nice dump off. It's got him into scoring range. Inside run to Henry Gestrom. There's a man in the zone. He's a 6. Right guard, +6 or +1. That's Patrick McCarry. He's only a 0. So despite it being a white die 4, he couldn't make the play. Third and 10. Quick slant to Arnold. Nobody's there. Third and 10. He double teamed with the middle linebacker, but it's a blank on Arnold's card, and it'll be a field goal chance for Kaimi Fairburn. Kick is good to only 2 through 8 and 12, so that's something to keep an eye on later. 3-3. I'll tackle left to Mostert. 2 back, 3 wide set. It's going to pick up 4. All right, guys, I'm going to have to leave this going with a silent recording. I got to go pick up my kid from school. So I'm going to mute this, and we'll just have silent for a while until I get back. There's Jody. Hey, Jody. You there? Well, Jody has muted himself. He could do the play-by-play if he wants, but I gotta go. So Jody, if you hear this, feel free to do the play-by-play. while I take off. Okay, so I'm back. We're in the fourth quarter here. The Eagles are leading 10-3. The Yanks are driving. They're inside the 20. Now, obviously, we had one of those out of sync errors, so you probably didn't get to see all the plays, but it looks like it's just been a defensive battle. Henry hit a 33-yard run before halftime. And after that, it just looks like it's been the ball position looks like just a lot of punts. So maybe it wasn't so bad that I missed some of that. So we had in the second half, it's been punt downs for the Eagles, and for the Yanks, it's been punt. So here we are, 7:30 to go, fourth quarter, 10-3, Eagles on top. Quick into C.J. Ham. Short gain, 16 yards. It's going to be first and goal at the 1. And there is the touchdown run up the middle to C.J. Ham. So it'll be 10-10 after this extra point, and it's up and good. So here we go. We got a brand new ball game, and the Eagles with the ball with 6:36 to go at their own 25. Okay, so we get a slant to Dan Arnold. It's going to go for 17 yards as he beat the white die. The white die 6 beat his 5 rating. 6 minutes to go in the game. Eagles out to the 42. About 3 first downs away from field goal range. Maybe even 2. Pitch out right to Henry. Guess wrong. Nobody's there. Picks up 7. Let's look at. So Henry's got 28 runs for 145. That's why Exogen came back in, because I wanted the stats to be right. So he's been getting his yards. He's been coming in fits and spurts. Fits and stops. Something like that. 2nd and 3. Henry's in there. He's still got a handful of carries on fatigue, about 5. But early in the first quarter, his average was 2 yards a carry. Now he's up to 5.2. Another guess wrong. Pitch out right. Can the guard make the block? He can. Laken Tomlinson comes through. So we're into Yank territory. 1st and 10. 4:48 to go. Staying with that same formation. Tried and true. 2 tights, 2 wides. Off tackle left to Henry. There's a man in the zone. It's a 6. Guess wrong, though. My card, your card. And it goes on Henry's card. 16 yards. And there it is. They're in the field goal range now. Let's check out the Eagles kicker. So he is 2 through 8 and 12. So he needs to get into the 22. Button hook to Henry. Guessed correctly. 1 man there. Incomplete. Henry's not the guy you want to go to for steady yards on a flat pass. If you hit an edge, you can get a big number. But besides that, pretty meh. 2nd and 10. Duke is not thinking about field goal at this point. He wants to get a touchdown. Pitch out right to Henry. There's a man in the zone, but it's Kestrel. Another my card, your card, and it goes on Henry's again, 12 yards. Avoided the long game, but he hit the short game. So 1st and 10 to 15, 3:18 to go. Even guessed right, that's a short game. Not a lot of run calls here. Figuring Henry's getting low on carries, he might want to save him, but he's just saying, hey, this is the key drive of the game. Henry's run 31 times for 181 yards. If he can just keep those last 15 off tackle run, there's a run call. Guessed right. Nobody's in the zone. The defensive end makes a play. Calais Campbell's a 6, +2 or +9. 2nd and 8. 2:42 to go. Crossing pattern to Lockett. 3 men in the zone. Guessed wrong. Covered by a 4. This could be it. 13 yards away from payday. And it is. Showing blitz, sniper scope, touchdown, Eagles. So the extra point is good. It's a 7-point lead. The Yanks take over at their own 25. Let's look at Mostert's stats. I don't think he's been quite as effective as Henry. 8 carries for 5 yards. And Burke had 8 for 44. So most of the Yanks yardage has come on the right arm of Derek Carr. And even here they go 4 wide. Hilton, Chuck, Johnson, and Fuller. That's Tyron Johnson. And it's a sideline right to him. Picks up 7. That'll take it down to 2 minutes. So one of those ones where if Anthony goes down and gets the touchdown, and maybe he'll go for 2, depending on how much time is left. But we're a long way from that. Duke has those 2 6-rated linebackers against the pass that make it flat passing very difficult. Bond to Will Fuller. 1 man's in the zone. It's a 5. It's a dump off for 6 yards. It's going to be out of bounds. Stays 4 wide. Remember, there's not a lot of pass rush from these D linemen. 4, 2. It's a 3-yard pickup. 4, 2, and I think it's 7. We've got Griffin in there in the 3 wide. And the linebackers are not really coming. He's keeping them home because they're going out to the flats. So while the dump off's in play, you might want to try to go short here. Take advantage of some dump offs, but we'll see. Carr's keeping it on that right flat, trying to hit the white die 6 against the 5 linebacker. Nicholas Moreau. And all those DBs are 5s except for this free safety. So that's his modus operandi. He will call, pass, move the extra DB back. So he has it's kind of like having a free safety 5 in there, and move the 4 back. So you might want to flat pass to that 3rd wide receiver, or 4th wide receiver, which is what he's been doing. Only a 2-yard pickup there. White die 6 against 6 in the zone. He went left. If he had gone right that time, that would have been a first down, 10 yards. 3rd and 5. So he's shifting this guy back, shifting Cameron Sutton back, bringing up Burris. So there's 4 men in the short zone, 1 man deep, and he's a 5. So a little flat pass to Tyron Johnson would be the way to go if he's not covering up this side. Square into Tyron Johnson. Guessed wrong on his card. It's a long game. Look at that. So too early to hit that. See, that's the problem with pulling that extra DB back is it's going to be guessed wrong on the receiver card. And Anthony knew that. He had Tyron Johnson in his sights. And boom goes the dynamite. That is a 57-yard catch. And he's got like 12 for 109 today. So this is something that Anthony's been doing all day. 1:15 to go now. The Eagles go for the extra point instead of 2 because there's too much time left. Eagles need to get about 40 yards to put the pressure on. Get close to field goal range. Oh my goodness. Interesting call here. 2 tights, 2 wides for Philadelphia. And the Yanks go 3-2-6. So you get Derrick Henry guessed wrong, you're going to go for that end run. End run on a 9 maybe. You get 4-9. Some big numbers. 4-9 or 12. You get all those yards in one play. Yeah, he'll bring up his linebacker or free safety over here, but you got to just run it guessed wrong, even if he's fatigued. You know, he's got 1 more left till he's out of fatigue, but even when he's fatigued, let it happen. So this is the ultimate dare. Inside run to Henry. He stuffed the end run. So he's going inside. Going to get 16 on the D card. So there's 16 of those 40. So he needs 10, 20, 28 more to get into that 32-yard line, which would get him to like a 2 through 8 and 12 field goal, I think. Plenty of time, 52 seconds left, all 3 timeouts. Yeah, 2 through 8 and 12, and that's 23 to the 32. 2 through 6 and 12 from out to 37, so 33 to 37. He goes with the 3-2-6 again. Oh man, he's just daring the Eagles to use Derrick Henry to end this game. Defense takes a timeout. They don't like the 3-2-6 now. I don't blame them. Too risky. Henry, 33 runs for 199, 6.0 average. Okay, now he shifts to a standard 3-4 formation, not showing blitz. So you got Eifert and Locke covered by 4s. Eifert's max as a tight end that's only 28. I was wrong. I thought it was 40. It's 28. Arnold's covered by a 5. Thielen's covered by a 6. Henry can't really catch a short pass, but he's covered by a 4. Slant to Eifert. 4 men in the zone. Guessed right. Incomplete. Oh, you should have run it. That's the game right there if you run it with Henry. Don't worry about him being fatigued. He can take a -1 hit on a 94-yard run or 34-yard run or 45-yard run. It's not going to affect anything too much. 2nd and 10. Will the Yanks call run? That's really the big question. They do. Pitch out left to Henry. The guard makes the play. Lincoln Tomlinson again. So +8. 3rd and 2 at the 48. Again, Henry is now in fatigue level 1. So that's a -1 if it lands on his card. pretty good chance to get a first down on a line, but guess right even. I think you're going to see a short pass. And I hope to, and he's going to want to get a guess wrong. Nope, it's going to be off tackle left to Henry. Guess right. One man in the zone, and he's a 6. My card, your card. Long gain, 31 yards, reduced to 30, and the Eagles are in field goal range. If he had thrown it there, that's the interception split for Minshew. So now you need to keep it in that 22-yard or less range, because let's look at that. Remember, 23 to 32, he's 2 through 8 and 12s. But 2 through 10, 13 to 22. So now you just need to run it a couple times, get a few more yards, let them burn up the timeouts, use up the time. Big play. Henry, 35 runs for 237 yards. Guess right, that's no gain, and he's punting. Henry is now in fatigue level 2. He just lets the time run. What? No, this is a mistake. Duke, what are you doing? What are you doing? You should have used your timeout and get into that where you're not going to get adjusted. If this is adjusted, it could easily be shanked. He says, Dennis, don't worry about it. I'm in the Super Bowl. You're not. With 1 second left, he lets the clock run down. The adjustment was -2. And even on the adjustment 2 through 8 and 12, that's still a good field goal. So he got a good roll. And all he has to do is onside kick it here, and the Eagles will be facing the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Instead of onside, he does a kicks deep, giving the Yanks one sliver of hope. You could line up in a base formation and run it with Mostert, try to hit that +80 on a 12. I think you're better off doing that than trying to get a long gain and then hit an edge on the long gain chart, because you need to get a 5 on a guy who's not double covered and then hit one of the big numbers on the edges for the long gain chart. Bomb to Hilton. He is single covered, 2 men in the zone, and it's incomplete. And that's it. The Eagles will go to the Super Bowl to face the Bengals. Duke, can he get the sweep? Autumn wind, then frozen tundra. He did double, so let's see what happens. So let's see if they come on real quick. Let's look at the box score.
Hey there.
Hey. So I missed a big chunk of the game because I had to leave and go pick up my daughter, run a little errand. So, but it looks like the parts I missed, it was a lot of punting, a lot of 3-and-out punting. Is that right? Because
Yeah.
I was gone. I missed the Henry touchdown.
Yeah.
I left with about 2 minutes to go in the half. And then I think the game had one of those out of sync areas, so I'm not sure how much the viewers were able to see. But I came back in the 4th with you driving down 17-10. Saw you tie it up on the Lockett, or Yeah, I saw you tied up on the CJ Ham run, and then him take the lead. And I thought that was a brilliant move you made after seeing Duke continually pull back his extra DB 5 into the long zone. And then you targeted Tyron Johnson with his great flat pass card, and we're able to get a tie. Hey, Duke.
Is Duke here?
Yeah, you are.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, targeted is one word. Abused is a better word, perhaps. There were two obscure rules that I was just abusing the shit out of, and they didn't really turn out as much as they should, honestly. But
right.
But hey, I mean, you can't argue with the Johnson touchdown. I mean that's enough of a payoff, right? You got to accept that in that time in that clutch way. So yeah, I mean that, and then the Burkhead 3rd down and 6.
I didn't see a lot of run calls when I was watching because I had to leave right before halftime, and then again late. I got back in the fourth.
What's that call? What is that call? I'm not familiar with it.
Well, Duke, when you pull the extra DB back into the long pass zone, think about it in logical terms. How is that guy going to cover somebody on the line of scrimmage? So if it goes on the receiver reading, it's going to be guessed wrong. So that's why Tyron Johnson, if the extra DB is pulled back into the deep zone,
yeah,
and it goes on his receiver reading, it's guessed wrong.
Really? Yeah, no, I saw that happen once. I was trying to figure out how that was.
Because you're pulling the extra DB back into the long pass zone. Think about it from a logical standpoint. You're putting him 25 yards from the line of scrimmage. So a little flat pass to him.
You can't use logic in Stratomatic though. That doesn't work.
Well, it's good to know the rules.
Yeah.
So
look
anyway,
at how a dunce like me that doesn't know the rules stumbles into wins somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously makes sense from your standpoint to have the 5 back there, but I think would have made more sense for you at the beginning of the year is to make that 5 strong safety a free safety. Did you think about doing that?
I did, and I think I talked to Ed about that on the pros and cons of doing that. What is your philosophy on that? Because I generally think that the free safety he's a wild card, and you can double team with him more often. But if he's a 6 or he's a good rating there, you kind of want to keep him back there a lot of the time. You can't do as much maneuvering with the double team.
Well, I always want my highest rating to be the free safety between my strong safety and the free safety.
Well, you do,
and that doesn't stop me from moving him around.
Right.
So anyway, that's why you had that.
No, what is your philosophy though for having the free safety the stronger rating?
I'll always do that. That doesn't stop me from moving him around, and I want the strongest safe rating there because, especially if he's a 6, because then you can use him to cover a flat as well as double. I don't care about the strong safety. The tight ends these days are not great, so you're covering guys that are oftentimes capped with a higher rating.
Anthony?
Yeah, I don't like to expose my team to that wrong flat pass generally there, but on the game I nominate Laken Tomlinson for MVP. He missed a block on 3rd down on a 6 white die, which turned the ball over, which let me get that Tyron Johnson flat pass for a touchdown. But he made 4 or 5 blocks right in between all those defensive end readings. He made a number of nice blocks for 8 yards that, especially on that last drive, it was 2nd and 10 and you ran end run, went to that card, 5 white die. He made an 8-yard block, made it 3rd and 2.
Yeah.
Much more difficult position.
That was huge.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And
and you kept using Derrick Henry, all through the game.
I can't imagine
were you surprised?
A guy like that.
Did you expect more run calls from Anthony, or was that about what you expected?
You know what I expected from Anthony? I expected. I almost threw out my scouting and I said, I have got to watch what Anthony is doing. And so what I thought you were going to do, Anthony, I thought because I watched the beginning, he's calling a lot of pass. I think he's going to call a lot of pass for a while, and then boom, he's going to call a lot of run. so I was waiting for that transition where he would do it, and I didn't see it come. So I decided, well, let's wait until he's calling more run, and I don't think you ever did you, Anthony? Really?
Yeah, it notched up. I wasn't going to call run the first 10 plays at least. I was going to call pass exclusively, and then begin to not on that continuum. I was never going to go all the way over to calling run every down, but I was going to slowly scale it up, and that pretty much is what happened. But you still had plenty of guess wrong opportunities in between, and for the most part, Henry was it's those two drives at the end of the half, made the hitting those numbers, and he might hit them sooner or later. That's a chance you got to take against
the philosophy
against your squad.
I went back to our game last year, Anthony, and I looked at you called it on first down. You called run. I mean, 80% of the time against Henry, and then when you start off your pass, that's what, and answer your question, Dennis. I wasn't sure what he's going to do, but I thought, let's watch what he's doing and see if I can think what he's doing now, because I didn't think I could predict you based on any tendencies, Anthony. I had to see if I could see what you were doing in this game.
Sure.
So that was my game plan. I had no game plan.
Well, Anthony's plan worked up to a point, because when I left the game, Henry had he was averaging 3 yards a carry or 2 yards a carry, because you would run him, but he was not hitting his big numbers. And when I come back to watch it after that big first half drive, he was up to 5 point whatever, like he usually is. And I think a lot of times when you have 5s and 6s on the defensive line, you can stop a guy just by him hitting your numbers. But it sounds like this time he wasn't hitting those numbers quite as much. And I saw several times where Anthony had a guy in the zone, but it would go on the offensive card.
Yeah, and it's the numbers. The rolls actually I thought were pretty favorable to me when Henry ran. No doubt, I think in my mind about it. And there's 2 long gains he hit. So how to take that for what it's worth. But when it went to numbers, it was more of a check on Tomlinson than it was on my 6s and my 5s, and that turned some drives around. That fueled your last drive. It fueled some other drives. And that sort of was the key. That coin flip of whose team was going to be checked, individual players are going to be checked, didn't go to mine enough. Overall, I thought Henry had the wrong side of the dice. I thought I got pretty lucky for the most part. It's in that little micro window where the game was lost, I thought.
Well, back to the beginning of the game, yeah, he missed some ones that when you were in that pass mode to begin with.
Yep.
And I said, okay, well, it looks like maybe it's not his day, but you just got to hit a couple of those, and I got lucky. And you hit one on Mostert, and it's a different game.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought that's another question, because I only see 8 runs for Burkhead, 8 runs for Mostert. You were doing most of your damage with Carr in that 3 wide formation, 2 back, and trying to line up, the flats to Tyron Johnson. So he went up with 12 catches for 109 yards. Did you think about running more?
Yeah.
Anthony?
Well, the progression was to run a lot more early, and then go to 4 wide, because I thought Duke might get wise sooner or later if I turned that on too early, the Johnson strategy. So started blocking back, then went and ran a bit, then went 3 wide, 2 running backs, and my running just had sort of a straight line downward slope throughout the game as a result, and I would have liked 30 carries today. I mean, that was the idea, was to run a lot, but to jam them into the first 3 quarters, the game flow just didn't dictate that. And I was hoping that I wouldn't need to do Johnson as much as I did. Didn't turn out that way, but still Johnson did his job. So
yeah, no, it's the same way with me. I mean, I had my strategies and you stick with them sometimes, but they don't always work out. The dice will say what the dice says. So I saw no picks, 1 fumble. What was that fumble? Was it a fumble, punt, or kick?
It was a receiver fumble by CJ Ham that he recovered
Okay, so no turnovers today.
No turnovers. I needed one. I needed one. With all the short passing Duke does. You didn't short pass much today, though, Duke. But I was fishing for one, and I was trying to prevent him on my side too. I didn't throw deep nearly as much as I do usually.
Right. Especially since both of you guys have a lot of 5s and 6s in the secondary and on the defensive line. Not a lot of pass rush. So
no, we're not known for our rush.
Yeah. So I didn't see a lot of dump offs either because you were both kind of content to either run or throw flat, depending on which one we're talking about.
Duke got a key one, 3rd and 10 from midfield. You weren't there for that, Dennis. 3rd and 10 from midfield at the end of the second half. Dump off went for 13 or 20. Converted first down. A play or two later, Henry ran it in on a long gain.
Makes sense.
So that
33 yards from the 33-yard line.
Yes, which is the shortest long gain. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Duke, you get a chance to go to do the double. You took care of Autumn Wind. Now you get
Duke
game in Frozen Tundra. How's that feel?
That's awesome.
It feels great. It feels great to be in the company of such great coaches as you guys and Justin, and it's just fun to be here. It's a hood, and it's what's really cool with these broadcasts is getting to know the guys a little more. We know our face-to-face buddies from years back, but now we're getting to know our digital buddies. It's really cool.
So how's your Spring Fever team looking? That's, I guess, the big question. Can you do, if you take care of this one, can you do the triple?
Well, if I figured that I have to get 2 more players, and these teams, not as much the Autumn Wind, because that one came out of the card set just so clean. I only had to make 1 or 2 moves, but that this Frozen Tundra team I built from scratch. I mean, it really was painstaking to build it just the way I wanted to. So I'm real proud of this team, and Spring Fever is very close, but I'm about 2 players short. Then we'll see if the draft and maybe 1 trade. I got all these 5 cornerbacks and nobody wants, Dennis. I don't understand.
Oh, send one over to me.
Yes. Yeah, I might as well package them up somewhere and give them out as a Christmas gift. I don't know.
Anthony, are you in Spring Fever?
I'm not in Spring Fever.
Okay, so we have
just Samsva, where the Deshaun Watson news made me happy.
Yes, he should be back with some team next year.
Yes.
So, okay, so real quick before I go, Dave, what do you think about Justin? Did you play him this year? And
I don't think I played him this year, and like I told you, my recollection of playing him, he's a good coach, and I've seen him now this year, and he's going to be formidable.
All right. Well, let us know. Hopefully, Anthony, you can take the lead on that. I do what I can do, but your play-by-play is like top notch. So I'll be happy to join you as a color analyst if I can. But I'd love for you to take the lead on that if you're available.
Yeah, I'll do my best to make myself available.
Plus, you put all those bells and whistles and shiny graphics and extra sound effects. I love that. So.
Let's see. Cincinnati, Philly, did they play? Duke, you don't think so? I think you're right, Duke. You're right on. Just taking a look. No. They played. They played. And it was a 24-21 win for Cincy. This is the first quarter, so we're going back to October now.
Oh, okay.
And he won it. Yeah. And he had a 24-14 lead with a minute left.
Wow. Okay.
24-7 lead, 5 minutes left in the third.
Derrick Henry's 28 for 164, and he had Aaron Jones could run for 75. Edelman was a beast, 6 for 103. I'm gonna say this one is like an even. I'd say the points differential, or whatever the betting line is. Maybe I'll give you a slight edge, Duke, since you just won Autumn Wind. I'll say Eagles -2. How's that sound, Anthony?
Sounds good. Well, that sounds right. Henry, I think is worth a couple points. Is what it comes down to.
And you have the big pass rush for the Bengals, but Henry's going to mitigate some of that by garnering more run calls. So we'll see. That'll be one of the big stories.
Now,
Is
explain again. Now, when I put that 5 back in the long pass zone, he's not in man coverage though, right?
Whoever he is guarding is uncovered.
right.
Uncovered. Like you're blitzing a linebacker, like you're blitzing your right linebacker against a halfback.
Right. But if I put the 4 back there, he's got his normal.
He has no coverage. Anybody who has coverage responsibilities,
Okay.
typically. Now the free safety in a 4-3, Dennis, free safety in a 4-3 when he's covering up the tight end. Who's he covering up? If you go 4-3 against the nickel, he's guarding a receiver, but that rule does not apply in that case, correct? You have to move him back. So
It's not the free safety. It's not the free safety. It's the extra DB.
the extra
Well, that's
DB.
why you were throwing those flat passes to Johnson, then, right?
Yeah,
He was
because I could get guessed wrong
But
on his
if you
card, and he
got
had long gains on 2, 12, and 10.
But if you got the defender in zone, it would be the guy in the zone, correct?
Yes,
Okay. But a defender rating is going to be guess wrong.
or receiver, which is what I
But
was
just-
hunting for.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's something I should have known by now, but it seems like the best way to cover the long and the short pass, which it is, but not the flat pass receiver that guy's on. So I have to assess who that guy's guarding, I guess.
Right. And in theory, mix it up a little bit. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
what you're doing makes sense. Now, keep in mind, and I think we've talked about this 20 times, so this is not talking out of school. Cincinnati's thrown 11 long passes all year, including the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
guys.
guys. Well, anyway,
Okay.
thanks for calling the game, Dennis. I look forward
yeah,
to-
Dennis, thanks for rolling with the punches there at when we
There's gonna-
had troubles.
There's going to be a big gap there in the middle, but
Yeah.
you got the beginning, you got the end.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties.
If
That
you
was a momentum changer, Anthony. I think that was a momentum.
Yeah, because that was second and goal from the 3, and I only got a field goal. Dennis, if you can, tomorrow you'll be able to download it. YouTube won't let you download StreamYard for 24 hours unless you pay for the service. Download it tomorrow, and you post it now, of course, but download it tomorrow. Just we transfer it over to me, and I'll edit it up for future use.
You got it.
Okay, so that's easy for you to do. You said download, and we transfer over to my email, and I'll get it.
Okay. Talk to you guys later.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks guys.
guys. See ya.